Hi everyone, let's talk about Cloudlifters. So over the years, I've become friends with Roger Cloud, who is the guy who makes the Cloudlifter. They also make nice ribbon microphones, which is why they designed that unit in the first place, because a lot of the ribbon microphones that they were making were incredibly low output, and so you would have a lot of preamps where the gain would be cranked to as high as it would go, and it would be hissy and quiet, so they made this inline preamp thing that made it louder and made it work. And I was at NAMM last year and Roger Cloud gave me one of these. I say last year, earlier this year. And this was something a little different, and this really caught my attention. This is the Cloudlifter X. So up until recently, I didn't own any not only Cloudlifters, but anything like them. I tried one in the past and didn't really do much for me. I was using it with dynamic microphones. A lot of what I record is real rock and roll and metal. So if I had like a screaming guitar cabinet or a really loud vocalist right up against the microphone, or a snare drum, kick drum, I really didn't need any way to make that louder, because if anything, I was battling to keep those levels down. If anything, I needed pads. I needed things that would keep the level down, not boost it up. And a lot of the preamps that I have, I don't buy cheap preamps. I have everything from Cranbourne, Drama, mostly Audient. And those preamps are super clean. And I can turn them right up, and even on things like acoustic guitars with a gentle pick was never a problem. Now, the reason that I was talking to Roger Cloud about this is that this is something a little different, and it has a transformer in it, where the original Cloudlifter was a very clean transformerless circuit. Transformers can provide a significant difference in sound, and that's where I got interested, because that perked up my ears, because I like variation in character, variation in flavour, especially saturation. Transformer saturation is something I really like. Transformers are traditionally used in audio so that not only is there some electrical separation between kind of an input and a signal, or output and a signal, so that there's no connection and no horrible ground noise or anything like that happening, but also they were used in traditional preamp circuits because that's just what you did. It was efficient and it apparently kept the noise down. But it's been found over the years that with a lot of preamps with transformers in, if you really crank the level going into them with a lot of gain, they start to overload a little bit, and they ring and kind of sing in a way, because they're metal kind of wrapped around an iron core or a nickel core or a steel core, and that can cause kind of musical effects, which on their own can be a little bit nice. When you pile them up in a busy mix, it can really be quite a nice thing. And so I grabbed this and I went, ooh, and it's only now that I've got around to making a video about this, because I was thinking, what do you do about it? It's got a button on the side because it's got this max mode. If you have this button in, then you get 12 decibels of gain out of this box. This has to be phantom powered. And with it out, I think it's about 36 dB of gain, which is crazy. And I don't know if I'd ever need that amount of gain. So what I'm interested in is the 12 dB of gain, but with the transformer saturation. So here's a little clip that I did. You might have seen the Sennheiser video very recently where I compared loads of microphones. But while I was doing that, I took the Sennheiser 609 and I did a second pass with the Cloudlifter X. Now have a listen to these back to back, and then with and without the without the backing track, and tell me what you think. So there was a marked difference and they were gain matched. I can play them out of phase and it sounds like this. And that kind of fizzing and popping and crackling, that's the transformer in here saturating. That's the sonic difference. And so it does add something to the sound, something that I personally like. I think the one with the Cloudlifter X sounds louder because the transformer saturation has allowed it to kind of sit more in the mix. It's saturation, it's not really compression, but the two have been kind of equated before. And so I could definitely see myself using a whole chunk of these. I have used my old BBC preamps there in line with nice modern preamps to do a very similar thing to this. They give me 7 dB of gain and have 2 transformers in each, but you can't buy those, you can't find them. Whereas these are, you know, some money. I'm not sure how much they are, I'll leave a link down in the description. But if you wanted flavour, then if you also need extra level, then you could do worse than one of these. So there you go. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Roger Cloud for sending this to me, and thanks everybody in Patreon and subscribers and everybody. I'll see you in the next video, or maybe not. Goodbye.